Oh hey friends, also this will be a video of me just looking up here to look at myself in the screen because I'm a narcissist. So this is the Tumblr accent challenge. You have no idea actually how hard I am trying to not look at myself. It's really bad. Yeah, so basically this was spurred because I had a Skype conversation with Key, or Pigeon Life, last night, and we were talking about how our accents have changed based on where we've moved, and or how they're going to change, I suppose, and also how I say some things real weird. So here it goes. Your name and username. So my name is Becca, or well, it's Rebecca, but everyone calls me Becca. And my username is Feminism and Tea. I'm pretty sure that's my username on everything now at this point. I think. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm fairly certain it is. Where you're from? I'm originally from Australia. I was born in Darwin, which is up the very north. We moved back when I was a year and a half though. Sorry, my arm really hurts. We moved back when I was about a year and a half old though. So I learned to speak in Ireland. I never had an Australian accent or anything cool like that. Yeah, I lived in Dublin for 21 years-ish, and I've lived in Ennis, which is in County Clare, for about a month and a half now. Pronounce the following words. I'm so prepared, it's on my laptop. Ant, roof, root, theatre, iron, salmon, caramel, fire, water. I never know, is it New Orleans or New Orleans? I feel like one of them is definitely correct. Stop looking at yourself. One of them is definitely correct and one of them is definitely wrong. Where am I going? Pecan, both, again. Probably, Alabama. Lawyer, coupon, mayonnaise. Pajamas, caught, naturally. Aluminium, GIF, tumbler, crackerjack. Doorknob, envelope, and gapoy. It's not a word I use. So again, there's the whole reason for this, I suppose, is Key was you say words weird, you should talk about that, and they mentioned it in their video. So yeah, I say walking and talking instead of, I can't even say them properly, talking and walking. I can't even do it right, and it sounds really forced. But yeah, walking and talking, and that's really that's the UCD coming out of me. It's the same with water. I say water instead of water. It's it's a O kind of A. I don't really know. What is it called when you throw toilet paper on a house? It's TPing. Although I hope people don't actually do it. Do people actually do it in America? Definitely people don't do it in Ireland. But do people actually do it in America? It just seems like a lot of effort for not a whole lot of payoff. What is a bubbly carbonated drink called? It's called a fizzy drink. I don't actually think there's an Irish version of a slang name for that. Or you call it whatever the thing is. He was saying that as well. You call it Coke or you call it Fanta. We don't call it soda or pop or anything here. What do you call gym shoes? I call them runners. Yeah, I never use trainers or sneakers either. They're always runners. And I remember my cousins, I family who live over in San Francisco, and they were over a couple of weeks ago. And my cousin, he's nearly 5. He's 4, he's nearly 5. And yeah, and I was like, oh, your runners are really cool. And he was like, they're not runners, they're sneakers. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't aware there was a difference, but thank you for enlightening me. Also, my excellent impression of my cousin's American accent. What do you call your grandparents? I'm the eldest grandchild on my mum's side, and I couldn't say granny and granddad, so I said Gan and Dadad, and that just stuck. So they've always been Gan and Dadad. And then my dad's parents, we always called them just Granny and Granddad, or Granny Mary and Granddad Dermot. Sometimes we just call my Granny Mary. Yeah, we don't really have pet names for them, I suppose. They're just Granny and Granddad. What do you call the wheeled contraption in which you carry groceries at the supermarket? It is a trolley. Yeah, again, there's not really another word for it. It's just a trolley. Ireland doesn't use cart or anything like that. What is the thing you change the TV channel with? It's the remote control, or just the remote, or the yoke, or the thingamabob. Sometimes your brain just has a bad day and a melt, and you don't remember simple words like remote control. Choose a book and read a passage from it. So I'm finally reading for pleasure, which is what happens when you finish your thesis and you no longer have to read articles about childbirth. It's great, and midwives and fun things like that. So I'm currently reading Bill Bryson's At Home, and I'm on page 310. So the Eiffel Tower wasn't just the largest thing anyone had ever proposed to build, it was the largest completely useless thing. It wasn't a palace or a burial chamber or place of worship. It didn't even commemorate a fallen hero. Eiffel gamely insisted that his tower would have many practical applications, that it could make a terrific military lookout, and that one could do useful aeronautical and meteorological experiments from its upper reaches. But eventually, even he admitted that mostly he wished to build it simply for the slightly strange pleasure of making something really quite enormous. Insert penis joke here. It's a really good book. I really like Bill Bryson. I have a couple of his books. They're great. Do you think you have an accent? Yeah, like, I really do, and I hear it all the time, and I think especially now that I've moved to the country, like, so I went to UCD for 5 years, and stop looking at yourself. For those of you who don't know, UCD is like in a wealthy enough catchment area in Dublin, so, you know, I went to college with a lot of people with a lot of money. And yeah, they sound like this. This is the South Dublin accent. It's the D4 accent. Or it's a version of it anyway. Like, I always spoke well, I think. Like, that was something my mum was like really adamant that we pronounce things properly and all that kind of stuff. Which, yeah, it's kind of shitty, like, now that, like, I'm more educated about it, but at the time I was like, yeah, this is, you know, I speak properly, and now I'm like, oh, that's kind of a really classist and kind of dicky thing to feel, and it's something that I have to work on a lot, I think. Kind of getting out of that mindset. But yeah, so I picked up this accent real quick, and especially when I was involved with debating and stuff, like, you know, you just pick it up. But I feel like every time I listen to myself, I'm like, Jesus, I sound like such an asshole. Like, I just sound like such a twat. Yeah, so I picked up that accent, and, like, you know, in Dublin it's not so bad because you can be like, oh yeah, no, I sound like I'm from Dublin. Although we did have Americans last week. I was American the other day, and I was like, no, I just watch far too much TV and American YouTubers. But then I had to pronounce the letter or for them, and they didn't know what I was saying, and I was like, oh, you mean R? I was like, no, it's or. Yeah, and I mean, I think now that I've moved to Ennis, like, you know, everyone has a country accent here. Like, they sound like they're from the country, because obviously they are from the country. And I feel like once I start working and stuff, and I'm around more people that are talking like that on a daily basis, I'll not necessarily lose this accent, but I'll definitely have a changed accent. It'll be slightly more culty, which would be nice. I like the culty accent. It's not that bad. Mr. Tall actually has, like, he doesn't have a strong country accent. He's quite neutral in terms of an Irish accent, but he does have that, like, country twang. He says horses instead of horses, which I'm like, it gets me every single time. It's just ridiculous. And I'm like, no, it's a horse. It's not a horse. But, like, Limerick people call it a horse. So, be a wizard or a vampire. A wizard. I have a cold at the moment, hence why I'm in bed and have a scarf on at, like, fucking 10 o'clock at night. So I feel like if I was a wizard, I could get the fuck rid of my cold and I could breathe. And obviously I choose when I have a cold to do a fucking video that's about the way I sound. So, do you know anyone on Tumblr in real life? Yeah, I mean, obviously I know Key. We went to school together, and yeah, they're probably my oldest friend, I guess. And then I know Lorcan and Sarah and Sorka and Suzanne and Nadi. Like, I've met them, obviously, like, we've been friends before we even had Tumblrs and stuff. And then I know Lennon and Vicky in real life, kind of. Like, we talk outside of Tumblr, and we send each other, like, care packages and letters and stuff, but we've never actually met face to face. But I think that counts. And then it says, oh, it's gone now. End audio post by saying any 3 words you want. So I'm going to say something in Irish. I really like Irish. It's, for those of you who don't know, it's the national language of Ireland, and it's great, but it's dying because it's taught shit and everyone hates it. So I'm going to say Slán go fóill, which is bye for now. So Slán go fóill, guys.